In a CBS News exclusive, we learned that the Pentagon has sent AI startup Anthropic a letter with the government's best and final offer to use their technology. That's according to sources familiar with the discussions. A dispute broke out between the company and the Pentagon after Anthropic repeatedly asked defense officials to agree to guardrails that would restrict its AI model from conducting mass surveillance of Americans. It's unclear whether the offer changed what the government wanted from Anthropic or whether the company had agreed. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth issued a Friday deadline for the company to decide whether it will work with the Defense Department. CBS News senior White House reporter Jennifer Jacobs joins us now. So, Jennifer, what has the government said in response to Anthropic's concern about how its technology would be used by the Pentagon?
Well, this is a real clash between an AI company, which is concerned about whether its own AI could potentially make mistakes that could put Americans at harm or do surveillance on Americans, and they want safeguards in place. And the Pentagon, which is chafing at a private sector company trying to impose rules and restrictions and policies on the U.S. government, when Pentagon officials tell me that laws are already in place that prevent the exact concerns that Anthropic, this AI giant, is concerned about. And they told me that there are no autonomous weapons currently being used. And the Undersecretary of Defense for Research, Emil Michaels, did tell me today that despite all that and all their tensions with this company, that the Pentagon is willing to make concessions, and they did include some concessions in writing to Anthropic last night. Take a listen.
Because the mass surveillance of Americans is already defined in the law. So if you say, I'm going to use AI for lawful purposes, then if that's in the law, I'm going to agree to that and do that. And we have put that in the contract.
And Emil Michael did also tell me that Americans need to just trust the Pentagon, that they're going to, in the way that they're going to use this technology in a safe way. Listen here.
We have humans in the loop in every aspect when we're even thinking about modeling and simulation on these things. So at some level, you have to trust your military to do the right thing.
Now, Anthropic has told us that they are not satisfied with the letter that the Pentagon sent over last night. They said that virtually no progress was made with their concerns about mass surveillance of Americans, which is illegal, as well as with fully autonomous weapons. They did tell us that talks will continue, but this impasse continues. Now, this Undersecretary for Defense did tell me that they have no intention of allowing any company to strip software from the Pentagon that they need for the military, for their warfighters, until they find an alternative.
So what happens then if Anthropic decides to turn down the government's final offer?
Yeah, this is where it gets sticky. The deadline is tomorrow at 5 o'clock, 5:01 actually, and the Pentagon is really digging in here. They are not backing down from this, but Anthropic is not backing down on this. So the Pentagon has said that it can use different tools in its toolkit to do this. They can make Anthropic a supply chain risk so that all of Anthropic's software has to be pulled out of the government, or they can use the Defense Production Act in order to seize this software so that it continue to be used.
Right. Showdown continues. Jennifer Jacobs, thank you so much, Jennifer.